Have you ever wondered why Paris feels like it was designed for people? Cafes spilling into the street, plazas alive at night, while Houston often feels like it was designed around cars? That's not just vibes, that's the invisible line between urban planning and urban design. Urban planning lays out how cities function, like a skeleton. Urban design makes them feel alive, like a beating heart. And when those two work together, you get cities people fall in love with. When they don't, you get places that work on paper but feel lifeless in reality. But to understand why this difference matters so much, we have to step back. Because this divide isn't just academic, it's why some cities feel effortless and others feel like they're constantly working against you. Urban planning is about structure. It decides where people live, how they move, and what gets built. Think of it as the city's operating system. Zoning, infrastructure, transportation, land use, utilities, housing policies, disaster resilience, and long-term growth. It emerges as a discipline in the 19th century, when industrial cities were overcrowded, chaotic, and polluted. Planners were the ones saying, maybe people shouldn't live next to toxic factories. Planners think in layers and timelines. Infrastructure, transit systems, sewers, energy grids, regulation, zoning laws, building codes. Growth, where the city expands over decades, not months. Look at Brasilia. This was a city planned almost entirely on paper before it was built. Wide avenues, strict zones for work, housing, and government. The aim was order and efficiency, a top-down version of a perfect city. Or Singapore, often called a planner's dream. Every inch of the island is mapped for land use, transport, housing, green space, and industry. It's the masterpiece of micro-level coordination. But even the best plans can't guarantee a great experience. You can build a flawlessly efficient city and still create spaces people don't want to be in. Urban planning isn't about feelings, it's about systems, logistics, and long-term strategies. And that's both its strengths and its blind spot. Urban design zooms in. If planning is the skeleton, design is the skin, the eyes, the smile. It shapes what a city feels like when you actually live in it. Urban designers focus on the human scale, street widths, building heights, and sightlines, lighting, shade, and landscaping, plazas, benches, shop fronts, corners, rhythm, and proportion. Take Barcelona. The grid of Eixample is a product of planning, but the chamfered corners, elegant balconies, and shaded boulevards, that's design. Copenhagen is another classic. It's not just bike lanes. It's the way the bike lanes fit into the fabric of the city, giving people multiple ways to move, pause, and interact. Design is why Tokyo can feel vibrant even in the most crowded districts. Narrow streets, micro-scale signage, layered lighting, and pedestrian flow create a sense of intimacy despite the city's massive size. Urban design emerged historically from architecture and landscape architecture, disciplines that cared about human experience. Designers are the one asking, will people actually want to be here? Urban planners and designers often work side by side, but the rules and training are different. Planners are strategists. They write plans, analyze land use data, model transportation networks, and make policy decisions. They think in districts, neighborhoods, and regions. Designers are shapers. They design streetscape, public space, facades, and urban form. They think in blocks, buildings, and people. Sometimes they're the same person wearing different hats. More often, they clash. A planner might prioritize parking ratios. A designer might fight for wider sidewalks. A planner thinks about the city as a machine. A designer thinks about it as a living room. This tension is productive when handled well, and disastrous when ignored. Most people don't experience city as planning or design. They just experience the city. When you walk down a street, the planner decided where it is and how it connects to others. The designer decided how it feels to walk on it. Media blurs this line too. In cities' skylines, players plan their cities. But when they choose road widths, pedestrian passes, or park layouts, they're actually designing too. And pop culture, from sci-fi megacities to dystopian futures, often show cities as aesthetic objects, not systemic machines. So most people equate urbanism with urban design. The best cities happen when these two layers align. Paris is the textbook example. Baron Georges Eugène Haussmann's 19th century plan restructured the city with monumental boulevards and infrastructure networks. But what made Paris iconic wasn't just street lights. It was the facades, the arcades, the rhythm of street life that design added. Courchevel built an efficient bus rapid transit system, a planning triumph. But the design of stations, integration with walkable streets, and how those spaces invite people to linger made it globally admired. Bogota's transformation is another great example. Strategic planning prioritized transit and public space. Urban design made those spaces truly accessible. Plazas, bike lanes, public libraries, things people interact with daily. And New York City? The 1811 grid gave a structure, but urban design, from Central Park to pocket parks, hydroscapes, and canopies gave it soul. When planning and design reinforce each other, cities don't just work, they inspire. But when they're out of sync, the results are painfully visible. Suburban sprawl across much of the US was planned for efficiency, easy car access, cheap land, zoning for single uses. But the design ignored human scale. No sidewalks, no gathering spaces, no reason to walk. Functionally sound, emotionally empty. Mega projects like failed smart cities look perfect on spreadsheets. Fiber networks, energy systems, master plans, but forgot to design places where people actually want to live. Post-war modernist plazas, influenced by top-down planning, often created enormous windswept voids that felt hostile rather than welcoming. When planning ignores design, you get sterile, alienating spaces. When design ignores planning, you get beautiful places that break under real-world pressure. The future of cities depends on how well we merge these two disciplines. Climate change, migration, and technological shifts demand planning for resilience, flood protection, transportation shifts, decarbonization. But people still need design, streets that feel safe, beautiful, and meaningful. We're already seeing this in cities that take these relationships seriously. Amsterdam is using circular urbanism to plan for climate adaptation while designing highly livable human-centered neighborhoods. Melbourne integrates green infrastructure with detailed street-level design, planting trees, shaping microclimates, and reducing heat islands. Singapore uses data-informed planning with design guidelines to make sure every public housing estate also delivers comfort, safety, and delight. Emerging tech like AI-assisted simulations, digital twins, and participatory mapping are letting planners and designers collaborate in real time. Imagine designing a park and instantly seeing how it affects traffic, stormwater, or walkability metrics. But no matter how smart the tools get, cities still come down to something simple. Planning makes sure cities work. Design makes sure cities matter. Urban planning builds cities. Urban design makes you love them. When they're separated, you get either a sterile efficiency or chaotic beauty. When they work together, you get the kind of places people fight to protect. Cities are conversations between a planner's logic and a designer's imagination. So the next time you step into a lively street or into a dead zone, ask yourself, was this a planning problem or a design one? And if you want to keep decoding the hidden language of cities, hit subscribe. There is a lot more to uncover.